Now I move to the second section of this D, where I have to figure out who my ally is. I'm going to take difficult rolls of 12s. Did I possibly here not check my battle ignoble? Get with the program. When you put something purposely hard to check that ignoble, you want to make sure that you do end up checking that ignoble. I go over to the fact that this would be task resolution. Let me show you that table. It's generic throughout all the freestyle games, page 55. I am level 2, and an ordinary roll is a 7, and a difficult roll is a 12. And I'm saying it's going to be a difficult roll of a 12. Now, I could flare this just a little bit. I could say the first person I approach, the Warden of the Gate, Rachel, if I make a 14 on tasking, I would convince the first one. If I don't make that roll, I have to continue in some sort of battle. And then I could also do the second one at difficult and the last one at ordinary. I would like to avoid the battles, and instead I would like to just approach Warden of the Gate Rachel, known by the player from past dealings, a former employer friend. So I'm going to go to my friend here, Rachel, and I'm going to say, Rachel, you need to let me in, and we have to conspire together. You don't like this guy, Baron Paul, anyway, and Boris Alfred is some sort of demon cult member. He worships the Grey One. We need to eliminate him.
We approached the outer walls of Baron Paul's fortress, asking permission for an audience. The hour was late. The gate warden opened a spy slide. Before I could say anything, the officer inside greeted me. "Don't you remember me?" I might have, except all I saw was a pair of dark Varangian eyes. The gate opened and Warden Rachel emerged. The guards behind her were suspicious, but all obey her orders. Rachel was a childhood friend, although that was several years ago. She left Staraja for adventure, as all we Vikings do. She, as a sword maiden, took her escape a few years before my father Halfdan gave me similar permission.
You know the Warden?
Yes, I replied to my sword. She is the only one I ever allowed to call me Erikjan, besides you, Afoti.
And let me see if I can get a roll. Now, is this a good time for a make roll? It's not a bad time for a make roll. Let me look at my character here and see if I have a make roll. I do, I have one left. We'll use that make roll and take it my crafty deeds and execution of skills. Nice. Another check off. Now, I have recruited into my crew, so to speak, this Warden of the Gate, Rachel.
Rachel embraced me as a welcomed guest. As I explained my situation, she was not surprised. The Warden, too, hated Boris Alfred and his tonsure minions.
He acts like the lord of the manor. I suspect the barber unnaturally influences Baron Paul.
Do you think we can wake the High Lord? She hinted that might be better in the morning and suggested I stay overnight in her chambers. This I resisted, reviving our tryst. My business was urgent. She agreed to intercede with Baron Paul on the condition I take her away. She missed travel and only took this post to escape starvation after a shipwreck. We all live such tragic lives.
The two of us have a fling, a little bit of charm, a little bit of flirtation from past knowledge. We have picked up the Warden of the Gate, and that person will be an all-important soak-off if I need one, and you cannot have enough soak-offs in a solo game. What do I mean by a soak-off? This character would be someone that in case I'm dying or in case I get in trouble, lost in digression tables, they can come to my rescue. Or if I take a blow that could possibly kill me, they would step into it instead. So Warden of the Gate Rachel is going to help me get into the compound here, and that would then put us in E. I probably should still have to escape after the carnage. And here will be the escape. If I roll a 7, an ordinary roll, it'll be an easy escape. If I fail the 7 of ordinary roll, it'll be a hard escape. And I roll a 12, it's going to be an easy escape. If I go into my fundamentals book here, and I look for easy escapes, there are no easy escapes. No, I will go ahead and make this an easy escape by I will take a method escape, no banes, until I get a result that allows me to either, as it says, return to regular combat or to get away altogether. People criticize this table, and rightly so, that it's hard. It's hard to success the character escape further battle. It's hard to find that. There is also a repeat rule that we came up sort of as a heuristic, that if you flip a queen and then later on flip a queen again, it automatically counts. The success would allow you to escape.
We found Baron Paul restless, bothered by prescient dreams. I wondered if my voice had warned the High Lord. Boris Alfred is the Windcaller, a destroyer of vessels in the Black Sea. My business is repairing ships. Even if I believe you, what would you have me do? Storms are profitable. Be careful how long you collect the wages of misery. What would the patricians do if they knew? Or the imperial guilds? I come from Byzantium. He inhaled, resigned. I did not say further who sent me. The trade to the capital is paramount. His tone did not angrily accuse, but more wondered who he faced. You blackmail me with threats. Baron Paul could not afford to make more enemies of the factions I name-dropped. You are well-connected for a barbarian. I merely nodded. I will banish this Windcaller from Cherson. Our task was finished. Baron Paul signed the warrant even before he knew the condition of his own docks. Best that I leave. With Rachel, of course. I owed her a favor of intimacy.
Let's get a card flip on escape to get out of here and end the mission. It's the moon card. You typically don't want to see the majors pop up as you're playing, but you just have to weather what happens because they do. Under combat, Major Tarot, moon card, inverted. Card of deceptions, not typically one you want. Enemy is more ferocious than first stated. But inverted, increase the power of any enemy spellcasters. Treat the next card selected as Q&D fighting cultists and curse writers and continue with the event. Here comes obviously the barber, Boris Alfred.
Our egress was blocked by Boris Alfred. He may have known of his exile or simply wanted to rid the South of me. As if. I would describe this as less foul fortune and more good luck. Could be one of many chance encounters. Could be the meeting to finally clip loose threads of the Norns. Yet, only those 3 wise spinners of life would know.
And Boris Alfred is going to attack me, and I'm going to have to take a card under the cultists Q&D. Now this is another table that's all banes. It's not a happy table. Fighting cultists and curse writers. Here's my card. I hope I don't lose Rachel. It'd be sort of sad to have Rachel appear and then Rachel disappear. But they tend to be stories where people do go in and out. A 9. Up until a moment ago, the drumming in your head could have been your heartbeat firing on adrenaline. Suddenly, the beat had syncopation, counterpoint, and even horns. Discover a means to deafen this rising pain, perhaps by cutting down the one of many who focuses this ill upon you. Fail and knocked unconscious. Flare, strange insight awards the character wizardly psionics. If the character lacks the skill occult scholar, difficulty increases by 5. Blade Knightly, and it's going to be a 13. A Blade Knightly 13. Do I still have my ability to cancel a death mod? No, I used it. Do I have my ability to use the Fury Pip? No, I used it. Do I have any make rolls left? No, I used them. I picked up, luckily, the Wizardly Psionics. And it's going to be 2 dice for a 13 to get away from this swelling, or I'm going to be knocked unconscious. Here goes my 2 dice. Do or die. Things are terrible. A 3. Well, that's pretty far away from a 13.
I was being drawn into a psionic fight with Boris Alfred. He was more familiar with this style of magic. A noise, swelling, caused my temples to pound, made our escape unbearable. We tried to evade, press on past. The Windcaller was persuasive in his desire for a showdown. My eyes would not stay open as I tried to stay in saddle. Unable to speak, all I could do was concentrate. No, Rachel, don't sacrifice yourself.
Now, here's where, again, what I said was I had a soak-off, and instead I'm going to use Rachel, and Rachel's the one that's knocked unconscious. Now, if I leave Rachel behind, I lose the friend, and it's sort of mean. I don't really want to do that, leave a friend behind to suffer inside of Baron Paul's estate from this barber, Boris Alfred. It's a tough choice. I said I had to take the 1 card on escape, and it changed by the Major Tarot into battling the cultist. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll apply the moon card. I will still take my method escape, but if it's a bane, I'm going to take another cultist card instead. Here comes my card. I don't want a bane. Don't want a death card either, usually. Okay, so Major Tarot instead. Let's go over to here. Gain a random personal swaggering. If you already have the technique locked as glory, if it is already glorious and locked, there's a twist. I don't think I'm going to have one that's already glorious and locked. Random personal swaggering. D20 for 5. So I go over here, personal swaggering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I picked up concentration. It's actually a very, very useful one, personal swaggering.
My focus returned as I was able to blank my mind thoughtless to that enemy's assault of noise, the whistle of winds. I checked to see that Rachel was alive and placed her on the back of Uller. Her own mount lay flattened and convulsing.
We're still fighting this situation where, if it's a Bane, I take a cultist roll. If it's not a Bane, then I will take my escape and try to get away with my friend. Dragging my friend behind, it almost seems like it's apropos. The major tarot in combat, the Lover's card. It is inverted. Your ship crew enjoys a windfall from being out of the action. The pilots and masters outfit and add servitors from another ship that has fallen under hard times. Okay, gain a random longboat technique, but only if this combat takes place over land. And yes, it did. It was on the shore of Cherson, so give me a d20 here. And it's a 10. And let me go into my character here and mark a longboat 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. No curse. I'm laughing because one of the first things I demonstrated is the fact that we had some sort of ancient curse. Well, while I was gone, the men had figured out how to dispel an ancient curse that was inside of our ship's beak, our ornamental front. That's nice.
Heerth has used the time wisely,
reported Afoti. I was told later he burned heather and made sacrifice. Was glad he decided against adding Genelin blood. To think I doubted my first Optio. Wait, such a fool I was. He desired me. I always saw him as another brother, I his little sister, but he saw me as a political bride. That's not in my future. Explains why Halfdan gave me leave in his ship. That was Heerth's chance to prove himself to me and my father. Ha ha ha! He sought my swoon.
And I'm still in this situation, this ugly situation, where it's either escape method or inverted cultist. It is a 9 trying to escape. Though you do not readily admit to such, you have trained and planned for this possibility, the need to retreat. Now, I'm finding what's wrong with the escape table here. It's not so much the fact that the result of getting away is hard to get. It's the numbers. My God, 13s, 12s, and 11. I start to emphasize with my brother. Are you kidding me? This is ugly. A 9. A 9 is going to be difficulty 12, advantage of better valor. Now, there's some great swaggering to get from here, but success in the character escapes. If the character has trait methodical, the difficulty reduces by 2. Well, that's good. It's a 10 on 2 dice to pick up better valor and get away with my friend. A 10 on 2 dice. A 12.
Heerth arrived with the non-humans. I clandestinely set this plan in advance. He would move the ship, but not stay put. We feigned a tiff in case there was one last goblin hiding in the crew. The Windcaller did remotely view, but not continuously. With reinforcements from the boat, we overwhelmed Boris Alfred and his cadre of cultists. The enemy scattered, and we made our way back to our vessel reunited. Valentin did his part and kept the rowers quelled in our absence, loyalty being the greatest gift one can receive. To his credit, Heerth did not ask about Rachel. He remembered her. He retracted his left side lip and gave a conciliatory nod as I helped the sword maiden aboard.
That was a good roll in an apropos situation, and I have picked up better valor, which is nice. I have gotten away, rescuing my friend. That's heroics. And I am back on the boat and sailing away in the Epilog after successfully raiding Baron Paul's lands, implicating Alfred as a traitor. He's going to be banished. Destroying part of the ship docks, refurbishment, the dry docks, and satisfying Ivan, my patron, a cousin, satisfying his desire that Cherson, a competitor with his facilities in Constantinople, has been put back several months.
The rocking of the longboat normally aids my slumber, but this night I sat upright in a dream state. Distant trumpets, timpani on high, thunder cracks. Rachel drew near. She too heard my voice announce the heavenly celebration. Eyes radiant, lightning lash, bodice bloodied evermore, glorious southern goddess, Odin's mead, washing heroic hall, ravenous ravens take feast, Einherjar welcome, headstrong lass, Herikjan. I woke confused, stunned. Rachel explained the prophecy.
1 woman warrior each generation shall enter Valhalla. You, Erica, are that Maid of the Einherjar, the Valkyrie.
Word is born.
Right. Epilog home. The epilogue is just a series of encounters after the fact, and with an epilogue, I'm looking for next mission. I'm looking for double cards to show up that point the way. Double cards meaning like double kings or double queens. And I'm just trying to survive to collect whatever bonus I would get in a minister's affairs. And let me flip the card for the epilogue. More later.